5 o'clock in the morning. It's dark as hell out. And I got 2 Henderson jobs I got to get done before I go to work today. So, let's get on with it. Oh, hunting for mowers early in the morning. We found one. Alright. John Deere 102. I don't know if it turns over or anything. They just said it won't start. Park and brakes engaged. Does it turn over? Sounds like it's got battery juice. Almost like the motor doesn't want to turn itself over. Oh. Well, it's got oil in it, so that's good. Oh, man, that's, yeah, that's why, I mean, I can't turn it, you should be able to turn that over by hand, and if I can't turn it over by hand, that's why starter ain't doing it. Huh. Just pop this little shroud off. Oh man, why is it so tight? Jesus, it's almost like the motor's locked up. What the hell happened? Okay. Let that hang out. And this should come out, right? Yeah, okay. It's smaller than I thought. See, look at that, starter's engaged. Oh, there we go. Christ. Oh, it spins fine. Yeah, so why did the starter... I noticed that the stud on this is pretty darn dirty, and I also noticed that this is getting hot. So usually this gets hot when you have a lot of resistance. Now, the starter could be going bad, 100%. But before we say the starter's going bad, I want to clean this connection because this is a crucial connection. And it is rusty, pretty darn rusty. So any rust is going to be additional resistance that this thing doesn't need to spin over. Alright, so this moves up and freely down, no problem. So the lube definitely helped with that, but this spring could have been a little weak. In any case, I added jumper cables onto the battery. I'm still trying to turn it over, and you hear that? So the clicking is the solenoid making the contact, but this, the positive line here, if you were to touch it, it's very warm, very hot. So that tells me we've got a lot of resistance down here. I cleaned this terminal connection here. However, unfortunately, that didn't do it. So I think we're going to have to put a starter in this thing. So I'm going to rip the starter out and notify the customer, and then we're on to the next job. That's that. Easy peasy. Johnson Electric Automotive, assembled in Mexico. Okay. Alright, so I just let the customer know via text message. I'm not going to knock on the door or call them because it's, you know, so early in the morning. So what we concluded is that the starter failed on that tractor. You always want to test some things. It's always neat to test. That's why I figured let's lube up the shaft and see if that'll prevent it from freeing up. But I think you have actually 2 problems on the thing. One is the spring just wore out on the starter, and then the starter itself is worn out. You know, when I took the starter off, it was hot. The line got hot quick. So usually when you have that much resistance, on your electrical connections, you build a lot of heat. So inside that starter, there's probably rust or corrosion, the starter itself may have swollen. The connections could have swollen, preventing it from turning, causing it to use more heat. So who knows? I'm getting too crazy into it, but I'm going to see if I have a used one of those in my shop somewhere. I don't think I do, because that's an odd style, but I'll take a look anyway. If not, I will get one here. I'll see if one in the shop down the street has one. So, but anyway, I'm driving to the next job, which is an Exmark that it's an Exmark zero turn that, the blades, when you engage the blades, apparently they kick on and then they shut off right away. So I'm not too sure, but I'm headed there now. I'm cutting it close to my time, but I want to at least put eyes on it. That way I can diagnose, parts-wise what I may need for this job. So hang tight, and we'll see you back at the farm. And we're here. Let's see what's going on with this unit. Jeez. All right. So they say they go to engage the blades. They engage and then they shut off. Where's the relay? Usually there's a relay for the coil. Oh, it's in here. It's kind of goofy. All right, sitting in this, key on. If I pull this up, okay, I hear it engage, and it's holding. Now this is loose. I wonder if it's just a loose connection. Let's test it. Couple things I'm going to look at here is obviously all the connections to the switch, to the relay, to the battery. That's one thing. I'm going to check the connections on the PTO itself. And then finally, I want to see what the voltage is on the battery, make sure it's recharging. Because if the battery's not recharging, it will shut the blades off. Okay. Oh, it's nice and tucked up tight. Yeah, no, I mean, that connection, it's right up top here, but it's nice and tight, so I do not think that's the problem. I made a little just jumper here for the seat on these mowers, so I can, work on these. So I want to test the PTO. Let's listen. Seems to be working. Let's see what our voltage is on the battery. 12.2. Okay. let's start this thing and see what our voltage is. Okay, battery is recharging, so that's good. Huh. So I noticed someone already disconnected this seat switch before, so I wonder if they were messing with it. See, like, this tab's broken off the seat switch, and I didn't do that. I didn't notice it until I got here. You know, I was able to just pull this off. Yeah, I think that seat switch, you know, so that tab was broken off and it was pulled out slightly. I don't know why. Huh. Anyway, I didn't really do much in this one but test the connections. So it's the next morning. Today is my late day, the day that I go in very late to work, and I work very late. So it's a prime day for me to go back to the John Deere riding tractor that needs the new starter. I got a new starter in, so I'm going to install that starter. We'll test it, and then see if it starts. Then what happened. Then after that job, we're going to go back to that Exmark job that we took a look at, because I got a phone call from the customer saying, hey, Brad, I went to go use it. I drove 20 feet, and sure enough, the blade shut off again. I had to turn it off, start it back up, and then the blades were working again. Now, I did tell the customer, just because the customer was the customer's kid who's younger, I said, make sure you're sitting on the seat. If you're not sitting on the seat properly, it will shut the blades off. They said that they were, and it still shut the blades off. So it totally could be. We'll check the connections. I might take it for a test myself, try to prove to see if the blades will shut off. I'll take you guys filming. If they do shut off, maybe we have a goofy relay or something. I'm not too sure. That's the only other thing I could think of, because the connections looked okay, but maybe there's a nick in the wire somewhere. Anyway, let's install this starter and then head back to this Exmark. Just how we left it. Let's wiggle this off. Throw this off to the side. Alright, let's install the starter. Let's take these bolts out. And this should be a direct match. I got it from a reliable supplier. I'm on a little farm, so you hear a bunch of farm animals. Okay. Let's take our battery terminal off. Let's put this back on. And we're going to test it right away to make sure that it starts. Plenty tight. Alright, key on. Let's see if it starts. Nice, look at that. That is not what was happening before. So that job's done, and I'm headed onto this other farm to try and fix this zero turn that the blades keep shutting off on its own. So really interested to figure this one out. So hang tight. Let's see what's going on. The whole machine shut off, not just the blades. That's a different situation. Where's the ground? Here's the bat motor ground. I'll be goddamned. Man, I missed that. Look at this ground. Whew, no wonder why it was shutting off. You know, I've been called out by a lot of customers from this local dealer where this Exmark came from too, for loose hardware and stuff. This is the first loose connection I've come up against, but sure enough, yeah, what a shame. What a shame. Loose connections. So, like I was saying earlier, I have one local dealership by me, and for whatever reason, this year I have gotten I've had a lot of customers because of that dealership. They probably have a personnel issue that are not torquing things properly. I know they have to do some subassembly when they get these units shipped in, so I'm assuming they're missing some torquing specs, or they're moving too quickly, or I don't know. In any case, you know, and this one here just shows you how important having good connections are. You know, I probably should have caught that on the first visit. I did not. However, you know, the unit started up and operated, seemed fine. So I figured, you know what, it probably was a kid that was jumping up and down on the seat, or maybe he was slouching and not hitting the seat switch. I was wrong, and which is fine. It's good to be wrong. It's good to definitively find the issue. And lo and behold, we had a loose ground connection. So just shows you how important the ground connections are for these units. So now that both of those jobs are done for this morning, I am headed into work to go put in my 8-hour day. So guys next time.